Hello, everyone. Welcome to IV Tiger Talks. My name is Brody.
I'm Sahara, and today we're joined by Iowa Valley English teacher, speech coach, junior high wrestling coach, and play director, Mr. Sovers, and philosopher.
Oh, yep.
Deep down, yes.
Deep philosopher. All right, let's start this with, so obviously you're our teacher for this class. You kind of want to talk about it?
Yeah. So what people aren't going to see is we've done this before. We just had some technical issues.
Yeah.
So when you repeat yourself, it just kind of sounds weird. But we're going to start where I started before.
There you go.
Is this idea started with Mrs. Barons and the fact that she's crazy. And crazy in a good way, in that she has a lot of ideas that she wants to do. And she's trying to make the school offer as many things as we can possibly offer for you guys. Because we have a lot of students in this school, and you got to figure out what everybody's interested in. And that's hard because there's hundreds of people and everybody's got different interests. So we try to make it as wide as we possibly can. She wanted something that involved communications without the writing element to it. So we have a bunch of, we have sports literature, creative writing, all kinds of electives for English, but they all involve, literature and writing and that kind of thing. And communication is a little more than that these days. So she wanted something that involved media communications, something with interviews, something in video editing, things like that. So we came up with this class, broadcast lab, and the idea being you guys, students, come up with a newscast. And from the newscast, we turn that into the announcements. And while we're doing the announcements for school, which everybody sees and everybody hears, then you guys are doing the editing. You guys are doing the processing. You guys are in front of the camera. There's a trick to reading something and not looking like you're reading something when you're sitting at the camera, right? And people don't understand that. Everybody sees what happens in front of the camera. Well, we wanted you guys to get an idea of what happens behind the camera, which, as we were finding out today, is not always the easiest thing to make work. So it's a brainchild of Mrs. Barons, and we got together and we talked about it and we formed it. And then she is not one to be afraid to just say, we're doing it. And she said, okay, we're doing it. And the first day of class, I told you guys, I said, I'm not sure what this is going to look like, but let's go.
Yeah.
Right?
So for people who don't know, every week we make a newscast for the school, and then it's like announcing things, sports, and then we just make people laugh, with the national holidays and George.
Yep.
And it takes a week to edit. But I remember our first one Sovers' goal was to have it out at all, to have one at all, after Christmas break.
Yeah, we were supposed to wait till
second
semester.
Second semester is when he thought
I
we were
didn't
going
think
to
we
start.
were going to do anything in front of the
And
camera.
then
before.
literally 3 weeks later, we were making weekly videos for the school. Everyone watches, well, not everyone, but at least most people watch it Monday mornings, because they're made to be watched on Mondays.
Yeah, and that's when they come out. And you guys were the driving force of that, which is how, in my mind, a class should operate. Teachers are supposed to be there's nothing we can teach you guys that you can't find on Google.
Yeah.
5 minutes, you can find anything on Google, science, math, social studies, whatever. Our job is to get you guys to want to as a teacher. So all of this equipment works through the magic of Sahara and Brody. They know how to work it. Now, did they know how to work it in August? No. But how do you figure out how to do it? You do it.
You just
right?
do it.
Yeah, so we'll do it. And as you guys do this podcast, this thing has really morphed into something that I'm not sure if you even knew what it was going to look like.
Yeah.
But now you've got an idea.
I remember at the beginning of the year, I knew that this was a goal, but I didn't know if it was actually going to happen this year, because it was we were oh, we're going to get our stuff around Thanksgiving, and then it was that didn't come, and it was a long time, and I was I don't really know when this is actually going to happen.
We're just going to get it at the end of the year, do one. And then
Right, I can see.
Yeah.
We're
So that Bishop grant that we got to get all this equipment, I mean, and this stuff isn't cheap, and it is what it is. But that Bishop grant, if you want to talk, I mean, you can say things happen for a reason, or you can assign reasons to why things happen or whatever, but however you want to do that. But we got this grant, and it was for a lot of money. And I wrote it up, what we needed. And everything that we put on that list was I was talking to you guys. Here, what do we need? What do we want? What do we want?
And we were oh, but I don't know if I actually can get that because this stuff is expensive. And you're no, we're going to get everything you want.
You tell me what you want. I just stop. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. You guys tell me what you want, and that's my job to make that happen. And here we are, right? Yeah. That's how it goes. So you were given the equipment, you were given the tools, and now you're making something out of these tools. This is how it's supposed to work. This is what school is supposed to look like. To me.
Yeah, and then shortly before Christmas break, we got
the stuff
our
started
stuff,
coming in.
Right.
And
it was It was like literally Christmas before Christmas.
Yeah,
It was great.
I posted on the Instagram story because I like to post like random things. Like, if people see it, then that's like kind of like just if you see it, you're the select few that know this, I guess. 'Cause I posted it on the Instagram story, and I posted like Christmas came early or something, and like the boys opening this stuff.
So when you're doing the paperwork for stuff, it just takes a long time. It just does.
Yeah.
But it was happening, and I knew it was happening, but you guys weren't.
We're just like,
Like I was talking to Mrs. Behrens, and we're okay. Where are we? And oh yeah, it's coming, and here we go. And
Yeah,
Wendy
it's
ordered
coming,
it.
it's
Wendy ordered
coming,
it, right?
it's coming.
So all I can tell you guys is it's coming, and you look at me like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
you
we're
said
just
that
like,
for the last 2
whatever,
months.
Blah
Yeah.
blah blah. And then like the first little box showed up.
I'm like, oh my
And
gosh,
you're like,
it's
oh my
actually
god,
coming.
oh my god, oh my god, right? And then it starts showing up, and then we'd open it. And we're like, okay, what is this? Oh yeah, this is what we need. These are our microphones. Okay, this is the processor for the microphones.
The ring
Okay,
light.
cool. How does it work? I don't know. Let's figure it out, right?
Yeah.
And
And then I don't really know why I was coming into your room, but I was just in there and Brody had all this stuff set up, was like figuring it out, and he was like, "You want to do this podcast with me?" And I was like, "Oh, I guess." And then we were like, "Who should our first guest be?" And then we sat there and we thought, and we said Kriegel. And then we FaceTimed him, even though we're in the same building.
Yeah.
We FaceTimed him.
Because why go talk to him?
Yeah.
face-to-face?
Why
Yeah.
go up those stairs to get him?
Yeah. And then he agreed, and now we're here.
He's ready to rock.
7th one.
Yeah, so the picture I sent to Mom is you just sitting at the table
Oh yeah.
with the microphones.
I was so
Yeah.
happy.
Like
that
you're just
day.
sitting there.
I didn't want to leave.
Right? You're just
your
staring
class.
at this stuff. There's
Yeah.
nobody there, but it's all set up and you're like, yeah.
And
I
we
did
were
not wanna leave.
we were like trying to figure out where to do it. So like for a while we were in the nurse's office, but then we actually got a nurse, so now we're not in there anymore.
Yeah.
Remember the day we were just sitting there? All we were doing is just we were trying to figure out like an intro because we were gonna have like an introduction, but not really anymore. We just like kind of go. But we were sitting in there like just had the headphones on, just talk like having conversation, but just in this because it sounds cool.
Right, because it
Yeah,
sounds cool.
It sounds
Yeah.
so cool.
Because it's high, it's just high fidelity
Mhm.
and it's processed really well, and you can hear everything, and it's not like you're doing it on, you turn your camera phone on, that's one
Yeah.
thing, but this is another level. Like you
Definitely.
guys absolutely taking this to another level, and it'll keep turning into different stuff as you get better at it, and that's
Exactly.
what it's all about.
And
so.
that's how we got Peyton in this class because he wasn't in here the first semester, and then we were in there and then we showed him the stuff and he was like, "Oh,
It's cool.
yeah." And
Oh wow.
I like
Yeah.
having people who like don't really like they're not Brody and Peyton like they've never done like speech or anything, but like Cade and Mara and Macy and George and me, like we've all done speech, we've all done stuff like this before,
Right.
and then it's like I like having people who haven't so they can see how cool it is, you know.
Right, and you saw it. So the first sign up, like we called Brody into
Yeah.
Miss Thiessen's office and said,
Mhm.
"Dude, take this class.
Yeah.
Right, you got to take this class. Like we got to get you in this class."
Mhm.
And you were reluctant because you didn't know what it was. And then I'd be honest with you, it's like, well, I'm not even sure what it's gonna be, but I know
I heard
what
podcast was involved, and I just ever since
that's-
junior year, that's what I wanted to do. And
Right.
So I figured it'd get me started, and it has.
and that was my hook. And then we got there, and it was like you were there, and we were doing the broadcast stuff. That was great, but in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, where's this podcast thing?
That's all I
promised?
was waiting for
Like,
the
where's
whole
this
time.
podcast thing I was promised? I could just tell that
Uh-huh.
was like it's coming. So then we got all of our stuff, and now here we are, and you guys are to the point where you're reaching people who don't even know where Iowa Valley.
Canada.
Yes.
We have listeners in
Yeah.
Canada.
We looked at that. There was one listener from Canada. I
Yeah.
was amazed. I
Because
was like,
somebody
oh my
tells
goodness.
somebody tells somebody, and like, hey, that's a neat conversation. You should listen to this and all. Podcasts are all over the place. Like
Mhm.
people like podcasts. They just
I
like
feel
to
like it's just
listen
so
to it.
convenient. Like if you're like doing something, just throw a podcast on, listen. It's
Yep.
like in the background.
Yeah.
You're working out, podcast.
Yeah,
Even just laying in your room, just podcast.
Aiden-
That's what I do.
Aiden Quinlan, like right after, I don't remember which one. I think it might have been the one with Abby. He was working out or something, and he was like, "Just listen to your podcast while I was working out," and I was like, "Nice."
and that's what it's absolutely for.
And
right?
what did that come out on a Tuesday? And then we had dance the next day, and like all the people were at dance were like, "Oh, I just listened to the podcast. I finished the podcast with Abby," and it was like,
Yeah.
See, and now you guys are to the point where people are like, okay, when's the next one coming out? When's the
Yes.
next one
All the
coming out?
time.
or who's
Coming out?
who's the next
Yeah,
person?
who's the next guy?
Can
Who's
I
next
be the
one? Who's
next?
one? Right.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Right. So now this is the other part of the learning with this stuff is you got to learn how to milk it, right?
Mhm.
You got to leave them wanting more
Mhm.
all the time. So you don't tell your next guest.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not telling you next. That's super
It's
double.
so hard to be
It's
like
super double
everyone
secret.
asking like
Yeah, and you're excited about it.
I
It's
don't
gonna
really
be cool.
know yet, to
Yeah,
be
you're like,
honest.
yeah.
sometimes like I don't know, and they're like, can I be on next? Maybe
think
Maybe,
of
right?
I'll put you on the waiting list.
You guys get a lot of requests?
long waiting list.
all
yeah.
the time. Evan Carney, like every single day.
Evan every day, because he has algebra right now, so he's right next door, and he's like, do you ever just talk about like maybe your next guest, like who it might be, like, because I kind of want to be on it. And I'm like, oh, do you?
He's always like, get me on the 4th hour because I
Get
want
me
to
on
be
the
in
fourth
it.
hour, yeah.
Well, that's your call. That's up to you. You guys, to explain to the people listening, they have complete autonomy with this podcast. They they'll tell me who they want, and
Let's make it
as
happen.
long as it's not an international terrorist, they're like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
Let's go crazy with it. So.
Uh-huh.
So the choices are up to them and how they want to go with it. You know, you had your dance instructor on last time. She did a wonderful job with it. She was great. And Carly was fired up because she got a shout out.
She got like a few, and she was like, all the time she'll say to me, I still can't believe you talked about how you're jealous of me. And I was like, okay, I'm not saying that ever again.
Okay,
then.
that's the last time I've ever heard
Yeah.
that. Destroy that film.
Yeah.
Destroy that film.
Yeah.
That
She-
needs to be destroyed.
Yeah, she is holding on to that for a while.
But that's what this class is supposed to do.
Yeah.
So we got some people working on some projects that hopefully amount to, like, Simon's working on a skate park video to try to get people around this idea of a skate park. And if this class can teach him how to reach other people with his message, well, that's what it's about. That's what social media is.
Yeah.
The good social media, that's what it's for.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like social media is like anything else. I mean, you can use it for good or you can use it for evil. It's however you want to use it. And you guys are doing something great with it. You're creating. People like stuff like this. They just do because it's fun to watch people create. It's better than listening to people tear each other down and get on there and they're sniping at each other and arguing about politics and all that. Like, that isn't what this is. This is just something talking to people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, a lot of the guests have been your teachers, Mrs. Behrens, and you get them in a different arena than the classroom or when they're being a coach, and you get them talking, and you kind of get some aspects of the personality that you don't see normally.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool about that. And on our end of it, I can say there's aspects of you guys that we don't get in the classroom setting that we get here a little bit more.
Definitely.
So, because Sahara talks more on the podcast.
She talks all the time. Man. You just might not hear it. She talks all the time.
So there you go, and that's good. And you guys play off each other nice, and it's just a good vibe, and that's why people like it.
We got people
Exactly.
asking us to do other things now. Like,
Oh yeah, we were
Like what?
Okay, so Shelly, Dawson's mom asked us. So they have a fishing tournament on June 4th, I believe, and she asked us if we were willing to like run their Facebook Live and like interview people and talk to them for, like the whole
They want you
day.
to MC the event.
Yeah,
That
they
is
do.
awesome.
And I was like, that sounds really cool. I think I'd definitely do that.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
So is that something you're thinking about doing?
Yeah, I mean, Sahara talked about it a little bit. I think that there's a meeting sometime here in April, and
Okay.
then we'll talk with them about it, what they want, and then
Well,
Yeah.
if you need whatever equipment, if you need something, we can
yeah,
let
I
me
think
know.
we'll
We
just probably
can-
use like a mic or something.
We can figure it out. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
make it work.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's summer. I mean, I can come
Yeah.
over. It's no
Yeah.
problem. We can get that in.
Yeah,
That's
I
no
just
sweat.
think
How
these-
cool would that be?
these opportunities we're getting just from like people, because even at dance, like the moms, because they'll come in like after us after the partner dance, and be like, love the podcast. Oh my god.
love
I'm
the
like,
podcast.
Yeah, and they'd be like, sweet. So we know you guys do all the social media stuff. Would you like asking us to help them? Like, this is really fun.
This
like,
it is fun, and
We're-
it makes
we're
it just creates fun things for everybody, and they like it.
Celebrity in the
You got
town of
you're eating your
Margo.
burger at the bowling alley, and somebody's gonna come up. And
No,
like, what do
even
I love your podcast.
no, when I'm working there, like people will come up, like I don't even know them half the time, and they're like, I listened to the last episode of the podcast, or they'll ask me when the next one's coming out, and I'm like, who are I don't know who
Yeah.
you are,
That
but
is
okay.
so awesome.
it's so cool.
That's great.
I just I never thought that like we'd make it like to this point. Like I was like, okay, a school podcast, it's gonna be like just school people.
Yeah, I
But then when
figured
we
like
like actually showed it to like community and stuff.
Yeah, like today we
It's
had pork
crazy.
fritter. What do you think of that?
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff. No,
Mhm.
this is it's because there's too much energy here,
Mhm.
and you love what you're doing, and that translates. People, that is contagious. It's absolutely contagious. You've heard your coaches tell you this, and you think we're just giving you a line, but it's true. It's absolutely contagious. And what you're doing, you love what you're doing. And when you get around somebody who loves what they're doing, it's hard not to get swept up in that energy, that positive energy, and you just want to be a part of it. And now Like people get to be a little bit. They get to a little sample of your passion by listening to this, and that's cool because people want something to give a damn about. They just do.
And we're like the first like generation of it. So because
Yeah,
like
like-
when Brody leaves, someone's gonna have to like fill a spot next year, and then when I leave, then it's gonna be like the originals are gone.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And then it'll carry on. And then here's gonna be the hurdle for you guys. I'm just gonna brace you for this. It's gonna morph into some other.
And it's gonna probably be way cooler than what we started.
I
with.
didn't
And we're
say
gonna be
that.
like-
I did not say
And we're
that.
gonna
man,
be
why
like,
couldn't we do that?
Yeah, when we were in school.
Yeah.
We should have. We didn't have that access.
Oh
What
yeah,
is-
why couldn't we get that?
Me and Brody
Yeah.
have talked about that. I don't know if we talked about it during Mr. Boland's podcast or like after, but we better be back as a guest on the podcast.
I would like to, like maybe.
You were
couple
talking
years
about
later.
with Mr. Bull.
Yeah.
That's right.
A couple
that's
years later, maybe my siblings are on it or something.
after
That'd
I
be
become
funny.
rich and famous.
Yeah, then I'll be like, oh, you guys need something? Here's some money.
right. Oh, here you go. That's right. See,
New
All right.
camera? Here you go.
So I can say this on the microphone. We need 2 soundproof rooms.
There you
Yeah.
go, bam.
To-
Once we're rich and famous, be like,
Absolutely.
you
we
guys
need
need
2.
rooms?
We need 2
Oh,
soundproof
you need
rooms.
you need a whole like just studio for yourself. Okay.
We need a
Let's-
whole studio.
let's build that
Let's go.
over across the street over there. There you
We'll
go, bam.
we'll call it the Brody and Sahara studio.
Yeah.
Brohara dessert.
Brohara. that's right. Another reference to Mr. Bolin again.
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Another Brohara. We'll call it the Brohara
You
studio.
can-
I don't care what we call it, but let's
You
go.
can totally tell when people like actually listen to your podcast because like they'll like say stuff about it like the
like that
Brohara
part,
dessert.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You're like, oh, you actually
Stuff sticks
listen.
to it. Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
absolutely. You can hear the kids talking about it in the hallways.
Yes.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
they do it. Absolutely. The faculty talk about it. All that stuff. It's not an accident that this is successful because you guys like doing it, and you can tell you guys like doing it. All you needed was a little bit of direction
Yep.
and a little bit of help. And in help, like, okay, how do we get this? Like, I don't know, but let's figure it out, right?
Mhm.
That's where all the cool stuff. That's where all the cool stuff comes from. Is we've had this conversation before. You can talk about the theory and there's a bunch of theory to how to do it and where to put the mics and all this other stuff. But a lot of it is to create something. You just got to say, I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Like,
And then it happens, and then you're like, okay, that was really cool, but we can do it better. And then you build it from there, and then you go.
Mhm.
And that's what we did. We just kind of turned the power on and said, okay, Mr. Kriegel, let's go.
yeah, like not having that fear of failing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's really been a big thing for this class. It's like kind
Yeah.
of been putting me like I'm not as scared to like do this anymore. Like it just came like routine, But like in the beginning, I was probably I had a sweatshirt on and I was sweating straight through that sweatshirt. I was so nervous. I'm like, hopefully this sounds good. What are we gonna talk about? Just
Are
all
people
the
gonna
time.
get bored of it?
Yeah. Are people even gonna like this? Is
Yeah.
this pointless? I was like, it's just so scary.
Right, you're waiting for that long, uncomfortable silence,
Yeah,
right?
you're
The
like,
awkward silence that always happens in situations where you're talking to somebody that you're not best friends with,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah,
you can be with, like, if I'm sitting in a room with my wife and we don't say anything for 20 minutes, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I've been married 20 years, so it's like, okay, that's no big deal. But if I just meet somebody and it's 10 minutes and you haven't said anything yet,
Then
you're
it's
sitting
like,
by them, you're like, they think I'm boring. What's going on here?
Uh-huh.
Right. So, wow. You had a good guest on your first show to
Yeah,
fill that
That's
silence.
why we were like, who's someone who can talk a lot? And of course,
Yeah.
Kriegel.
And of
And we
course it
both
was
know
him.
him. We're like close to him.
Yeah,
And it
I
was
mean,
in
you
the-
work with the team, and
Yeah.
you know him, and you wrestle for him, and you were in season at the time.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot. Yeah, and there's your icebreaker right there. Now you've got some common ground, and you're in good shape.
There you go. Yeah.
And now people know that it's more of a conversational thing. So I guarantee you, when you ask them to be on it, they start thinking about like, oh, what am I gonna talk about? Like, what are my answers? Like,
Yeah.
what are they-
Mr. Bowen was like, I have a few questions for you guys.
He
Yeah.
did, and that's awesome. And he
Oh.
had a few. And you never. So what is the story next year?
I don't know.
Well, I just know next year that you have made it clear to the juniors of the class that we are teaching next year.
Yes.
That I have to teach someone how to podcast. Mara is going to teach someone how to news anchor.
Yes.
Cade has to teach someone, teaching slash is going to teach someone how to edit. And
Right, the
stuff
editing
like that.
part of it. Right. So this is going to become the Jedi Academy, right? Where you guys teach. So we figured it out
Mm-hmm.
how to do all this stuff. So Cade had a background with.
He's master editor.
Yeah,
Editing,
he had a background with editing. Well, he learned it off Google
Yeah.
because that's the same place I learned how to do it. right?
And now he can do things.
And now he
so
can
fast.
he can do things because he's done it a few times. So instead of somebody going, I wonder how to insert this, he can just say, hey, Kay, this is what I want to do. And then Kay can say, okay, here's your button and here you go. And that's instruction and that's what it's supposed to be. So this year was like, I'm not sure what this is going to look like, but we're going to figure it out. And we have. So now we got the broadcast element, which is every week. There's our deadline, right? And then we've got these little side projects. The podcast is the first side project that's really took off. And it's going to stay. There's going to be more than that.
Creating
just
Iowa Valley promotion video, kind of.
Yep.
That's also fun for everybody else.
Working on the hype video. That's okay. Didn't know if we were supposed to release that, but working on it.
Well, everyone in the school already knows about it because I have to ask them to do it.
It's not that big a deal. But we're stuff like that. And we're going to hype videos for the sports teams. The more we do them, the better we're going to get at it. Stuff like that.
The snack times with
snack
me and
times,
Peyton.
just the fun stuff that people want to watch and just watch you guys have a good time doing it. But it's different than turning an iPhone on and saying, okay, we're going to do something for TikTok, and the lighting's bad and you can't hear it and the screen is off and like there's a
but we
production.
also do TikToks too.
Well, that's fine.
We do, yeah. We
Well,
do
those
TikToks.
are fun.
That's
Social
the other
media.
thing is you learn there's a difference between all
Yeah.
of these. Like there's a polished, finished product like this podcast, and then there's a TikTok video.
Usually we use like TikTok and Instagram to promote these, so it's like
Yeah.
Or Twitter.
when people are scrolling through TikTok and they like just watch like a 15-second video, then they're like, oh, like
Or if it's
it
like funny,
reminds-
then they'll
yeah.
like, oh, let's watch the actual
Yeah.
video.
Like, oh
They're
yeah,
the
I want
actual-
to see that. Like,
yeah.
yeah, they really stick all those chips in his mouth. Did they really do that? I want to
Yeah.
watch that. Right, and then they go, and that's how you get viewers. It's advertising, right? And that's how you learn about advertising and marketing and target audiences, and then you can start to figure out, okay, and you're gonna help me with TikTok, right? And this is where we learn from each other, sort of thing. Is can you kind of track who's on it and who's watching?
You can see like how many views and stuff. It doesn't like tell you who really.
Okay,
It'll
can
tell you like
do, like-
male, female audience.
yeah, you can
but
do like the male and female.
so you can
like
get
the
a kind of a vague idea of like
percentage of like who.
I think it
Right.
might tell you like age. if
Yeah.
you
who's
look on the
watching,
computer.
when they're watching.
Yeah.
Like, is there certain days that if it gets released on a certain day,
certain
that's better?
like
Things
certain
like that.
trends or like hashtags or like I don't know things you do are different. Like we'll
Yeah,
go
like
to
if a
different
new
people.
song comes out.
Like if you do like a hashtag like I don't know, and then it'll go on someone's For You page. If you do a different hashtag, it'll go on someone else's For You page because it's like the things that they're interested in.
I gotcha.
So like I mean, most of the things we do is dance videos because like that's the easiest thing, but that's what everybody does on TikTok. So
yeah.
Well, that's the
yeah,
that's the fad with it, right?
yeah,
So you're using it for advertising. Okay.
yeah,
Exactly.
That's what it's for. I didn't even know that existed.
yeah. And the same with Instagram. There's an explore page that like sometimes on my I have like different accounts on Instagram, like for the broadcast and then my personal one. I'll go on the explore page and like I'm not following the broadcast account because I am it. So
Did-
like. Cause
yes. Well, you are the
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
You're the
So-
mediator, moderator, whatever.
But it'll come on my like explore page because it says like hashtag Iowa Valley. So it'll like reach people that's like from
Have,
all
like,
around or
yeah,
Marengo.
near Iowa Valley or
Yeah.
close
Right.
to.
So the broadcast Facebook page,
That's a mess.
which is a mess.
It is very. There's like two, but then
Well, it's because it's linked to one and it's not the other, and then it's
that one is a little messy.
But I keep getting, and that's my fault. I think I'm pretty sure it's my fault, but I keep getting hits like so and so liked it, and that keeps happening. So somebody's on there.
Someone's
Yeah.
someone's
they're
sees
finding
it.
it. I
That's
know.
how I feel a lot of people find our stuff because like if like we don't post like a podcast right away and I'll be like, have you watched the podcast yet? And they'll be like, no, because I didn't see it on Facebook. So like
Right.
so
Right.
I mean both of our moms share it and
Yeah,
that
I
really
can
helps
tell.
because like my mom has people on her Facebook who like don't even live in Iowa.
Mhm.
So that's like from other places, like that's how they find it because she shares it because she used to live in Illinois. So like a lot of her friends from there, like if she didn't post that, there's no way they would know about that. But
Right.
now that she does,
Yeah, and
they are advertisers.
And you got to remember that like people my age, they didn't grow up with Spotify and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it's not like we think to even go look there. Oh, I do because
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's where I get my books and stuff. But that's something that if you put a link on Facebook, then they're familiar with Facebook and they're like, oh, I can click on that. I'm not afraid of this.
And then it takes.
But if
them
you
to
tell
where-
if you tell somebody, oh, go to Spotify, they're like,
I
yeah,
have
my
had
mom didn't even have it. She's
My
like,
mom
what
didn't
is
either.
Spotify?
Like literally a few days ago, she was watching Abby's, like sitting there, not even on the YouTube app, on the link. So it's like just like the link, it's like easy it's like still on Facebook, and she's like listening to it, and I'm like, why aren't you listening on Spotify? Then you can go in other apps and do other things. And she's like, well, I don't know how to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
See? Yeah, I don't know how to do it.
I was like, what is Spotify? I'm like, it's where you listen to music. She goes, so can I listen to the podcast? I'm like, of course. That's where it goes. I'm like, just download the app.
yeah, because
And then you'll be able to like
Right.
follow.
It's
and
free.
Then get 'em. Yeah.
well, it's so my wife is one of those people that is terminally afraid of technology. Like she just
Yeah.
doesn't like it. She can do it and she works with it at work, but she just doesn't like if she hits something and it doesn't work immediately, she's done. Like it's
Yeah.
over.
It's like,
Yeah, it's over. Never gonna do
Done.
this again. So you work her through it. But it's all I tell her is, look, they're trying to sell this to dumb people too. So
Yeah.
it's not hard. You just got to know what to do. Once you download Spotify, it's self-explanatory.
yeah. Just look it up and then bam, it
Yeah.
should pop up.
You just type in Spotify and then you're good.
You know, things like that I feel is self-explanatory. Like I could just get an app and just use it. I don't have to learn how. It just like happens. But then like whenever I'm with my grandma, she's like, I don't know how to use a Bitmoji. I just show
right.
her how to do that. Like things like that in Snapchat. It's like things like that. I don't even have to like. You don't have to, like, our generation wouldn't have to be taught how to use a social media app. You just go on it and, like, somehow, I don't even know how, you just know.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
you guys grew up pushing buttons.
Yeah.
Right? So you know if I push enough buttons, something's going to happen and I like it. And if I can remember to do it again. So you kind of get that ingrained. It's like practice, right? Like you're a senior this year. So working double leg takedowns, you're like, okay, yeah, I
Done
get
this
it.
for
Yeah, I
years
get
and
it.
years.
I understand it. Teaching a 4-year-old double leg takedown, you got to start from, you know, okay,
Yep.
heel toe knee. And here
Tiger
we go.
ready?
Right. You got to,
Yep,
yeah,
Tiger
Tiger,
stance.
ready. Yeah, you got to go from Tiger ready. So it's just a different phase, right? They didn't grow up with it. My generation is kind of stuck because we didn't grow up with it, but we're not old enough to just say, I don't care,
Yeah.
right? Like we got to care about this stuff because we got to use it. So we're the ones who are stuck scrambling, trying to
Yeah.
figure out how to like,
And
That'd
then
be tough.
Like-
after you teach them and then they do it, like, start to do it a lot, like my grandma, she uses Bitmojis for everything.
oh yeah,
We
then
have,
they do it all the
we
time.
have a family group chat, and anytime someone says something, it's like a Bitmoji response. And then it's like, she'll ask me how to use like filters, like taking a picture, and I've showed her multiple times, but every now and then I'll get a picture
You'll
of her.
get one.
And then, well, we're going there for spring break, so I'm sure she's probably gonna ask me how to listen to this. She always has like a list of things she has to ask me how to
Sahara,
do.
show me how to do this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's what you guys are a reference. That's the only reason I know how to do this stuff. So
Yeah.
like, dudes, how do I do this? Like, show me how to do this.
Yeah.
And you guys come and show me how to do it. You showed me how, like a 7th grader showed me how to sync my earbuds.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I listen to books and stuff all the time when I'm walking the guys, and I was still using the cord head, earbud things because I'm old. And it was good enough for me.
Yeah.
Well, so the cord broke, so I was like, just $20, and I get these cordless ones, which look pretty cool. Okay, great. Pull them out.
Didn't know
Like-
what to do.
What do I do with these?
So take it to school.
I did. I took it to school. I was like, all right, dudes, here's my phone, here's my earbuds, sync them. Let's go. And I think it was Dane Smith. It was like, oh, dude, I got this. And
I got this. I got
Yeah,
this.
he was
Dude.
Of
totally
course, Dane.
right. And there it is. So
She,
awesome.
my grandma even asked me how to do Facebook, and I didn't even have Facebook, but I still showed her how to do it, and I didn't even know how. But I just pretended like I did.
Well,
Yeah.
but you can figure out
Yeah.
like, okay, here's the button. Here's
It's
what we're
it's
gonna do.
common sense for me how to set up a profile, but for her, it's like,
What do I
yeah.
do?
Right. See, and this is why
It's
our
like, what's a
Facebook.
username?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
This is why our Facebook situation is such a mess right now. Because I did it.
yeah.
I should have one of you guys do it, and then it wouldn't be such a mess. So
It's all good.
we'll get it figured out. We will get that figured out eventually. So
Mhm.
I feel like our moms should just do the Facebook.
Yeah, no kidding. I do not know how to run Facebook really. I don't get on it that much, but my mom, she's like, the only time I like notice I have like Facebook is when my mom tags me in something.
Me too.
Then I get a notification. She's like my mom's always on that.
is she?
Yeah,
Facebook
same.
all the time.
Would she contract out
Probably.
and set
I don't
ours
know.
up so it's
Probably.
linked where we want it to be
My
and
mom
everybody
is
can find it?
too. Sometimes I don't like to do it, but sometimes I have to ask my mom how to find something on
Oh,
Facebook.
that has to hurt.
Because I usually only go on it when my grandma will text me and look at the 4 things I tagged you in.
Yeah.
Because now that she knows how,
And how does your mom respond?
she just shows me. She doesn't really think it's weird, but now that she hears me admitting this, she's probably
She's
gonna
gonna
make fun of
glow.
me.
There's some
Yeah.
glowing in it.
She's gonna smile the next time.
There'll be some
Mom, can you help me?
yeah.
She'll be like, just smile at you. Be like,
That's
I
exactly
think I
right.
got it mostly figured out now, but I don't know. Our age, we say that Facebook is for old people, because it kind of is.
Well, that's
the
that's
older
what happens.
people,
Is
yeah.
like
Yeah.
something happens on social media that you guys, when I say you guys, I'm talking about the younger. You guys use it, and then like the tweeners, the 20s, get a hold of it and they see it, and that's pretty cool. And then all of a sudden it works its way up to like us old people, and then once the old people find it, then you guys just go to another app.
Yeah.
Like TikTok, it's so addicting, and then like when you're scrolling on your For You page, and then you see like Dr. Phil, like someone old, and that's just funny to see someone old. And then I think about like how I saw a TikTok, and it was like the president of 2060 is probably just chilling on TikTok right now.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Which, and then like Snapchat, I wonder like when we're older, am I still gonna have a streaks with like my friends when I'm like 30?
Yeah.
And like
I feel like there's just gonna be new apps that come
Yeah.
out all the time. So
There's
it's
gonna
just
be-
it's gonna change.
Yeah, it'll change, and some of them you'll hook onto, and some of them you'll stay with your old app just because you and your friends are used to that.
Yeah, and you know
Snapchat,
how to
I
use
feel
it.
like is gonna be a very long one, like for me, because like my memories, that's where all my pictures are. Like most people, it's in their camera rolls, but it's like my Snapchat memories. That's my entire life,
Yeah.
and I always save things like. Not because I'm ever gonna post it anywhere later, but I will like literally take pictures and save things because I want to look at this like in like 20 years. Cause like I've taken pictures of like just like at a wrestling tournament. Like me and Ella have both done it. I used to make fun of her for it, but then I started doing it. Like just taking a picture and then just saving it. So then when I'm older, I can go back and like look at it and just like reminisce.
So is that where your stuff's like? It's just on Snapchat.
Yeah, you just
it's
like
right there.
you just,
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
on
So those
Snapchat.
photo albums that your
Yeah.
grandma probably has at her house.
Yeah.
Right? Well, yours,
She has a lot, but mine's on my phone.
yours on your
Yeah.
phone, right?
It's
You're
also,
doing
like-
the same thing. It's just on your phone.
Also videos, those really like I don't know, like an attachment to them. Like if I
Mhm.
lost my Snapchat, I would actually like go and I would panic because like I have so many videos of like my animals that like have died because like my cat died, and then like I have videos of him, so it's
Right.
like, or like videos of Hayden talking when he was little and his voice was so high.
My siblings love those videos. Like Garrett has so many of Mason, and he's just super squeaky. It's so funny.
But like my grandma's generation, or your generation even, like before ours, like that doesn't exist. Like they don't have those. Well, they do, but not like as
It's like the
that
home
easy.
videos?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm 50. So we grew up with Polaroid pictures,
Mhm.
right? They come out and you shake them and they're like instant. And that was
Yeah.
cool, right? Because you get the picture like right now. You used to have to take your camera and then take a camera roll and take the film out of the camera and go get it developed. And then a week later, you get the pictures from whatever party you're at or whatever, right?
That
Yeah.
seems crazy.
Yeah,
to
so you
me.
had to wait a week.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I remember that, and then you put the pictures in the album, and then you put the album. Right. That seems like just interminably long. Well,
Yeah.
then
It does.
we got Polaroids, and those were the coolest things ever, right? And the people who are old enough to remember, they remember these white cameras, and you hit it, and it go, and the thing comes out, and you look at it, and it just kind of develops in front of your eyes, and you're like, yeah. Well, then we found out after a couple of years, they just fade. Like
Yeah.
they just turn green and fade. Then the picture goes away. So you
Yeah.
don't have the picture anymore. So now you got nothing. So then what started to happen is then you get into those big VCR cameras,
Yep.
VHS cameras. Remember those? You ever have those shoulder? You ever
Yeah.
see the shoulder-mounted ones? Right.
I know
that
what
was.
you're talking about.
Yeah. Then you put the VHS tape in and that sort of thing.
And then the people's like home videos, you know, when you watch like documentaries of celebrities, and it's like videos of them like as a baby, and it's like
Like the parents are recording.
Yeah.
yeah,
Just
the
like-
grainy VHS look.
Yeah.
And now like there's videos of Hayden when he was like in like 3rd grade, just on my Snapchat. I can just scroll down and just find it.
Right there
There's
it
a
is.
video of Hayden just talking so high,
Yeah,
talking
and
about,
it's better quality
Yeah.
than we could have ever.
and then
got
I
back
can put
then.
that anywhere, like on my phone.
Mhm.
I can, like, a lot of people, I like a lot of girls like around here, they'll do like Facebook albums of like sophomore year, or like they'll go freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, and that's for like their family to see, because that's usually why they post it. But then you can post it like on Instagram for your friends to see, or you can post like videos on I don't know, it's just like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is why yearbooks aren't such a big deal.
Yeah.
Like yearbooks
Mhm.
used to be the thing.
That's
Yearbook
what my
come
mom
out.
said. Like,
Yeah, you couldn't wait
and
for the
then
yearbook
now-
to come out. Like, oh, I'm gonna see a picture. I'm in the yearbook. Look, I'm on page 35. Right. That was my thing. That was our thing.
Or when we're in the newspaper.
Yeah.
All
the
my
new-
parents do that too. all the
Yeah,
time.
you
They keep
clip
'em.
all the articles.
Yeah,
and-
my mom will be like, "Look, your name's in the newspaper," and so is my grandpa, because my great grandpa, he's like 90 something, and he lives in Illinois, and he gets like our newspaper to see
Oh yeah.
our pictures and names in it, and then like, I don't know. It's a
okay.
big deal to them, but for me, it's like,
Yeah.
I can see
Yeah.
my stuff. Like I see my stuff on
Yeah.
Huddle all the time.
Yeah.
I see whatever. Yeah, you guys are used to having all this media stuff, and like when we were in high school, if you were in the paper, you're like, that's a picture of me
yeah.
that my mom didn't take.
Now
That's
it's
pretty
like
cool.
if someone reposts your picture like on Instagram or something, that's like the same.
Yeah.
Like if not a famous person, but like if someone bigger were to like repost your picture, that's the same as being in the newspaper. Like that's me.
So that's the thing. Like you
Yeah.
get reposted or
Yeah.
retweeted or whatever it is.
Yep.
Whatever your
That's
thing.
cool.
You're
Yeah.
like, status.
Yep.
Got it.
That's the new cool thing. Yeah.
I got you.
Like when the school account when they posted like that I was running for the district officer,
Mhm.
and then everyone was posting it on their Instagram stories. Like
Then that's cool. Yeah.
yeah.
That's the fun stuff
Yeah.
though. Everybody does that. Well, and that's like, bring this all the way around to this podcast is we put it out there and then somebody posts it, then somebody's friend reposts it, then somebody shares it, and then now all of a sudden it's out there.
That's
And-
how I'll post like a short clip of the podcast on the broadcast account, and then I'll post it on my Instagram. I'll post it on my story because I have like followers from not Marengo,
Right.
you know. I want them to see it, so if I post it on my story, and then there's like people they go and follow that account. There's people that follow that account that don't go to our school. And that was kind of my goal. That's why I posted it because people at our school know it's happening because we talk about it at school, but
Right.
everyone else they have no
Everyone else,
idea. So
yeah.
that's why I posted it.
Right.
Yeah.
And they don't have a podcast.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
At
they
that
do
school.
not
I
have.
feel like this
podcasts.
might start like becoming a thing in schools though, because like I kind of see this like later in the future, everyone's gonna be listening to podcasts. Or there's just new things like YouTube all the time.
So why were you so drawn to it? Why did you want to get into podcasting?
Well, so like in my junior year, I just like started listening to them, and I thought they were like I listened to like funny ones, and they just made me laugh all the time, and I love laughing, love comedy, and I just like thought to myself like, if I could do that for like the rest of my life, just talk, make jokes, talk to random people, even like famous people,
Mhm.
that'd be so cool. And just 'cause like that's considered my job, even though it doesn't seem like a job, 'cause I would like doing it. That just seems like the coolest thing to me.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
It would just be so fun.
See, and I didn't know you were interested in it at all.
Yeah. I mean, everyone tells me I'm like the TikTok star because I like posting videos. I like to dance a lot. I like posting videos of me dancing. If I could get famous and make money just by dancing for like 20 seconds, that would be the dream job. Or to post on social media, like I already do it now just 'cause.
Well, yeah, you basically run social media for this class.
Yeah,
So
and I do it like for myself. So like if I got paid to do that, that would be the
It just seems like
ultimate.
it's not a job,
Yeah.
but you're getting paid to do it. It's like crazy. That's the crazy thing to me. Like it doesn't seem like a job, but you're getting paid to do it.
Or you get paid to promote other people.
Yeah.
Like brand deals
Alright.
and stuff.
So here's what I
Yeah.
want you to so it seems like this, oh, that will never happen. It'll be something that I'll do in my own time, blah blah blah. Here's what I want. I don't know if this will put it in perspective or not. I hope it does. I got paid to help you make this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I got paid to do this.
Yeah. Like that's cool. Like it doesn't
Just
seem
tell
like,
me about
it doesn't
it.
seem like you should get paid for it. Like it just seems not like saying like
You
that.
should
but
not
like,
get paid for what you
no, not that way. But like it doesn't seem like it's something
This
that
is-
someone would get paid
yeah.
for. Like, oh yeah, cool, listen to that. But they're making money from you listening to it.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me how
Right.
that even happens.
And that's if you could find something to do that you love doing, and you get paid to do it. There are worse ways to live your life, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be in Miss Teason's office like making my schedule, and then she'll be like, "What do you want to do with your life?" And I'm like,
Yeah, but that's the thing. When people ask that, I'm like, oh, I want to do a podcast. I
I-
want to start a YouTube channel. They're like, oh, cool. Like
Right.
that'd be so cool. But like,
they don't
It-
really.
But
not
you
really
get
gonna
the
happen.
reaction like
That's
rah.
every
Yeah,
I
it's
like I
like-
want to say what I actually want to do, like this, like social media and like being like an
influencer.
yeah, like that, or like doing hair. Like that's what I actually want to do, but I feel like if I say that, then they're like, that's not a real job.
Yeah,
like-
like people
Like if
ask, and
I
I'm like,
could like in
mm.
intro to business when we like made our own business, and it, like I made one and it was like I just did like hair and makeup for weddings, and then like I also did photography. That was my like fake one. But then I was like, that would actually be fun, but that's some people I feel like would think that's not a real job.
Yeah.
I feel like when you think like a job, it's like in an office, like boring, like hate my life.
Well, you're supposed to hate it.
yeah.
or like a teacher.
That like
or
you're not
like
supposed to like
electrician
going
or-
to work.
Right.
My
Just
mom
the
says that all
normal.
the time. You're not supposed to like going to work.
Right.
Because she's like always like, oh, I don't want to.
Well, right, and it comes back to if you liked it, they wouldn't have to pay to do it.
Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
you can flip that though. If you like it and people want it, they'll pay you to do it.
And that's the crazy thing.
That's the demand thing. It's a demand thing. It's not a question of what somebody sees as relevant. It's do people want it, right? Do people want? I know what wedding photographers make. Like, whoa. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities.
Because that's like basically what I like. The same thing. If I was doing, I would be doing that on. If I was doing social media, I'd be doing the same thing. Like I do my makeup and hair a lot too. Like people know me for being able to do hair because I do for like I've done hair for weddings, prom, and homecoming, and like things like that, like senior pictures. And then I also like to take pictures and then post them online. So like it'd be doing the same thing just for like not social media. Like
only
just
imagine
just making things like
hiring
dance.
out to do that, and instructional videos, and people consult with you, and like that kind of stuff. You bet.
I follow like people who do makeup on TikTok, and every week they just get packages that companies send to them.
Yeah,
and
people send you stuff.
I always think like, oh my god, I wish that was me. That would be so fun.
Yeah, we have a free mic in the drawer that a company sent to us.
Yeah.
Because now they're aware of what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so they're like, try this out.
Yeah. That's just so cool to me.
I did not even know that.
Well, because we haven't used it yet.
Oh.
It just that's on me.
And then we can also like
because these work just fine. So
yeah, we can also like promote businesses and like get paid for it. Like that would be fun.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Just promoting like a product. Like even if someone like if anyone nearby us wants us to wants to sponsor us.
Moringo businesses.
Yeah,
there are a lot of people in Moringo who
if you
listen
want
to
us,
this podcast.
Yeah, and Pella apparently.
And
Yeah.
Pella
is
In Canada.
and surrounding communities.
Yeah.
If you want us to promote you, just
it's
say
a great opportunity for you guys.
Okay,
Yeah.
but still, here we go. Explain the opportunity that they don't know. Talk about Anchor and how it works.
Okay, so Anchor it's what we use. So we post our episodes through there, and then it's partnered with Spotify, so they go on to Spotify. But then once a certain amount of people have listened to your podcast, you are able to start doing ads for Anchor. Is your first ad that you get, and you give them like a little shout out, tell them how good it is, how to use it. and all this
Anchor's
stuff.
great.
It is great, but you tell them how to use it and all this, and then they will pay you for the people that watch. Like they listen to the ad. That's one view. It's a certain amount of money, you know. And once you get a certain amount, there's like I don't know what it's called, but like per view you get is like however much money you make, and then just the more people that watch and listen and
Yeah, so
all that more money.
they start inserting ads into your podcast.
Yep.
And then for every listen, you get a little kickback to it because
Yep.
that's a body that you're drawing to
Mm-hmm.
Spotify, who pays Anchor to bring bodies to Spotify.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? So that's just kind of how that works. And you don't need to know any of that. You just need to know you got a podcast people want to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing it. And oh, by the way, I get paid to do it. And that's how this works. If somebody's decided that you're worth something, they'll pay you to do it.
Yeah.
So
And we didn't even make this to get paid. It was just.
It just kind of happened.
And then now that we're doing it, and then we figured out we can get paid, like sign me up.
well, now it's why wouldn't you? Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And again, that comes back to what we were talking about before. That's the passion. That's you love doing it. You were just doing it to do it, right? And I don't know how this is I don't know what's gonna happen here. Maybe this works, maybe it doesn't. But let's try because this will be fun, and I think it'll be cool. And now you've got something that's really cool, and it's got potential to be a lot of other things. The question is, what do you want it to be? Because it's yours now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, we created Tiger Talks, and that's going to stay with Iowa Valley, and the students are going to learn through it. But you guys, the experience you have, the name that you're putting out there, can you take the Tiger Talks with you and we make a new one? Sure. If you're established on that, I mean, come on. Like, we're not going to be, no, that's Iowa.
Once a
that's
tiger, always a
property of Iowa
tiger,
Valley.
so-
Once a tiger, always
Yeah.
a tiger, that's right. No, it's Iowa Valley. You can't have it. So, but it goes back to the fact that you guys like doing it, and that translates. That's why people listen to it.
Everyone always tells me that me and Brody work well together.
Yeah.
You do. You play off
Everyone
each
does.
other very well.
That a lot of people have said that to me.
Mm-hmm.
Even I don't know. Like
There's a connection there. There just
Yeah.
is, and it's.
I feel like
You've seen it. Like you can
Yeah.
put people in a room, and there's not going to be. They just don't have the flow.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put some other people in a room, and there's going to be a flow there. You've been in these situations.
Mm-hmm.
Certain, I don't know, like groups. You guys go to FFA conventions all the time, or you go to wrestling meets, or you go to something like that, and you'll go to an organization, and there'll be a bunch of people there, and it'll just kind of like clunk,
Mm-hmm.
You'll be like, ooh. And then you'll go to another organization group of people, and a certain group of people just jibe, and it's like, yeah, and that was cool. It's like 4 hours already. Are you kidding me? No way.
Yeah.
Right? And
Time
that
just flies by.
yeah, and that's what you guys got going on. You play off of each other plus the host, and it's not overpowering by any stretch of the imagination. You don't have the scripted set of questions, and then they answer it, and then we're done, and question and answer, and nope, my questions are done. We're out. Get out of here. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
You guys are a little more free-flowing, and you talked about this when you first set it up.
I feel like it helps that I've known Brody literally my entire life.
Yes.
I've known
you guys
Brody
grew
since
up together.
Yeah, because our moms are friends and stuff. I don't even I couldn't tell you when I met Brody. I've known him my entire life
Yeah.
because of our parents.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Well-
our younger brothers are the same age and like wrestling and stuff. I don't know. just
So how
works.
closely do you listen to the podcast? Because you guys will complete each other's sentences once in a while.
Actually,
You will.
Didn't even know.
I
that.
didn't know that
Right.
either.
Occasionally. It's not a lot. It's not enough to be like annoying.
Yeah.
But it's enough to be like, oh yeah, they're on the exact same page with this. Like,
Yeah.
they know exactly what the other one's thinking and where they're going and all
Yeah, I
that.
think
Oh,
we kind of get the gist of
totally.
each other.
Yeah, you feed off each other. You can feel that. You can hear it in the podcast, and that's what makes it fun about it. But you never got back to we got off into the rhubarb here. What do you want to do with it next year? What do you want to do next year with podcasting? Because you're not in high school anymore.
So I won't be in high school, but Sahara still.
Sahara will be. We know she's going to carry this on. She's
Yep,
carrying on
she's-
this legacy.
Yeah.
She's training our young Jedi.
So Eli Slaymaker we've obviously we're really good friends, and he asked me, I guess, before we actually started this one, he said we should do a podcast together. So I'd do 2 of them, like when Sahara gets out, me and her do ours, and then me and Eli. So we're thinking about this summer. Obviously, he'll be back from college, and maybe we still have to get this all settled out, but like a name and stuff. But I think we'll just kind of like do our own episodes, you know. Ours will obviously be like probably more about like sports almost all the time. He likes baseball, we both like football, all that stuff. But it'll be like just me and him, and then we'll talk, and then so he goes to Warburg, and I'll be in UNI, which is only 20 minutes away from each other.
Yeah.
So we won't be that far if we need to make a podcast. So he'll just come to my dorm or something, and I think that's kind of just where it'll go, and hopefully that takes me off into another
Awesome.
a great path, and then Sahara can join back in, and then it's just skyrockets.
Yeah, man. And you go from there. You can do drop-ins on hers. She can do drop-ins on yours.
I didn't even think about that when Miss Teaswood was asking me what colleges I've been interested in. I've always liked you, and honestly I think it's just because it's purple and yellow, and I like the colors together. And then when we were talking about it, that was before Mr. Bourne's podcast, and then we were talking about it then. And then I was thinking like maybe I should go to UNI
Hey,
because
I think you should.
that's where Brody's going.
Yeah, it'd be perfect.
Well, there you go. So now, if you wanted to work on the social media aspect of it, is there something you can study that will help?
Probably
boost that up?
marketing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Is there
marketing.
marketing? Is there business behind some stuff, or is there things?
That's
you can do
actually what
like
I'm
that?
going for is
Okay.
business and marketing.
Okay.
So I think that will just help me even more with it. And then
Even if I wasn't like an influencer per se, like if I could work for a company and like market them like on social media, like that would be fun. Like I was watching this show on Netflix, and then like it's a docu-series, and then you know how like there's people like there's just them talking, you know, and it has like their title at the bottom, like it was like their social media person.
Sure.
Like that would be fun to be that
Oh,
person.
a good social media person will make or break a company.
yeah.
Yeah.
With this. I mean, look at the amount of time you guys spend on it.
Yeah.
And that's
My
not-
screen time's insane.
Yeah.
That's
All the time.
and you find yourself doing it like not even thinking about doing it. Like you just as soon as you get a free minute, the phone's out. You're
Yep,
scrolling.
bam, phone,
you're
TikTok,
scrolling.
something, Instagram. Just
Yeah. And
all
it's
the time.
that's just how it works. And that's what companies are trying to capture is like put something out there that's going to catch your eye, so you stop and you go, oh, interesting,
Yeah.
right? And then you're on there long enough, then the algorithm figures it out, and then all of a sudden you get a bunch of ads. For
And then, yeah, you have to know, like, how short to be because people only have, like, especially on social media, their attention span is so short.
Mhm.
So,
They
like,
want
watching a
everything real
full,
quick.
the longest you can make a video on TikTok is 3 minutes. Watching a full 3-minute video is not long, but when you're on TikTok, it's like,
Seems forever. You're like,
and then no, I'm done. I'm going back
'Cause
to
your
my 10-second
expectation,
videos.
right?
Yeah.
Because of your expectation.
But it's also a blessing and a curse because, like, I don't know. It depends on the type of video, but
Yeah, like
Yeah.
sometimes you want more from it, and you're
Yeah.
glad it's a longer video.
And then it's like go back for part 2, and then then you have to go to their page, and then you have to follow them because they haven't posted part 2 yet. And that's how they get.
See?
yeah.
that's how
Suck
they
you in.
get you.
That's how they suck you in.
Yeah.
Leave them wanting more, right?
Yeah.
Like you give here's a little snippet. This is why it's cool you do little snippets of the podcast, because then people would be like, oh, that's interesting, and then they can go,
Yeah.
and then they find out that oh my god, this thing's like 90 minutes long.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they're
but
like,
if they engage for that 90 minutes, if they really want to, they will, and then they find that it's great.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Hayden, every time we film one, he asks me how long it is, and recently they've been getting longer and longer.
Mhm.
And I told him, he's like, "Oh, that's so long."
Hey,
Go for a walk, man.
yeah, yeah,
And when it's done, you're done, right?
yeah.
Or walk the dogs or whatever. So it's
Yeah.
been this particular aspect of it. There's other aspects that need a little bit of work, and that's on me. But this aspect this and the broadcast part has really taken off, and it's been everything that I was hoping it would be.
Okay, so we watch it in physics, and Monday mornings, everyone's like, "Can we watch it? Can we watch the broadcast?" Because everybody because it's like funny. We try to make it as funny as possible.
Yes.
Like I was one of the news anchors the first semester, and I just remember thinking like, "This isn't funny. We need to redo this. It has to be funny," because then they just sit there awkwardly in silence. But it's better when everyone's laughing
yeah,
at it. But
Right,
I
and
think our George little snippets,
those are great. Those really
that's-
give it that kick.
Yeah.
Of comedy.
because it's like it's getting towards the end, and then it's like, no, it's George.
Oh, that's George. Wait, what's George gonna do this time?
Different. I don't know if anyone's noticed this, but every episode has been a different variation of the name George, and his name isn't actually George; it's Dylan.
Yeah.
So
His name
That
isn't
took me.
George.
nobody knew that. A lot of people do not know his name's actually Dylan. It's Dylan Steven, not
It
George.
took me a while to figure out the George thing. Like,
yeah,
They call him George. Why do they call him George? I don't understand why they
I
call
don't
him
really
George.
know
His
why
name
we
is
call
Dylan.
him George either.
Right, it's just one of those things that sticks.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
Call him that for a while.
And I'm sure I don't even think about it. I call him George.
Same with
Yeah.
Cade. I've had to say it's so hard for me to say Cade because I call him Carl. My grade just like calls him that. I really couldn't tell you why, but we call him Carl.
Because he looks like a Carl.
I guess. I think he said one time someone told him he looked like Carl from The Walking Dead, maybe something like that. Like in 6th grade, and it stuck this whole like, and now it's like less and less people. But it's like like the group, like of like speech kids, like in my grade, like we call him Carl. Like that's what we know him by. Like me, Aiden, Stephanie, Jordan, Chubbs. That's another one.
Chubbs.
Chubb sticks real well. I like
Chubb
that one.
sticks. Mooey.
Mooey.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's the same. I mean, you get these kids and their nickname sticks, and that's just what it's from.
Yeah.
And it's just
So we'll do like
because some stick and some don't.
like the one that will have come out when this is posted, it'll be yesterday. It was National French Bread Day, so we call him King George III because that's like a French king. I don't know. We always or George St. Valentine.
George St.
That was for
Valentine.
Valentine's Day.
To this day, my favorite's the President's Day one.
Oh yes,
Those
'cause
were fantastic.
George Washington. That I went home and made my dad watch that like over and over because my mom. So they weren't expecting it. Like the first one, I don't remember what was the first one of the presidents. Was it George Washington?
It was George Washington.
And then it was like Abraham Lincoln.
Right, sitting there in the balcony.
And then like the Bill Clinton, like they didn't expect it, but my dad was just laughing because it's like different audiences will get it. Because we also watched it in government because we made it for President's Day. Like that was the holiday.
Right.
So we watched it in Mrs. Welp's class because we asked her if we could, and she just thought it was the funniest thing ever. But then there's some people who don't know anything about presidents.
Right.
and
If you
they're
don't understand the context. Right. Dare I drop literary devices into the
Oh, boy.
illusion,
Yeah.
which you knew. You knew that.
Yep.
You totally knew that.
Most will
100%.
get it, but few will understand. Like they'll get that it's like they're replicating like presidents, but like the Bill Clinton one, like only select few people.
That was funny.
Yeah,
The
that was hilarious.
the Kennedy one, not
Yeah.
because it's easy, but because it's hard. With the
and
whole
the
accent. That
and
was good.
Abraham Lincoln of him sitting in the auditorium, and it's
There you
so
go.
bad, like of us to do
But
that.
it's so funny. It's so funny.
But
And-
you know the story.
Yeah.
All the clip is him sitting there, and Cade walks in the door.
And then-
behind him.
and then-
That's the
That's it.
clip.
and then it
Yep.
like pops up with like the
Right, it
the-
labels them.
Yeah.
So you get you get a little context. But the clip is him sitting there, and then the dude comes in behind him, and that's it.
And, yeah,
right?
so only
and you just
someone-
fill in the blanks from there. See, that's media. That's
Yep.
good stuff.
That's
Yeah,
our goal is
100%.
to. I feel like our main goal with those is to inform and make people laugh.
You bet. And if somebody's got a question, they'll be like, I don't get that. Okay, well, go look it up. Go
Yeah.
read the story. Go figure it out. Or ask somebody who knows what's going on, right? So you're both entertaining and informative.
I noticed the one that was supposed to be posted Monday, but didn't have school Monday. Technical difficulties. He did. I think the national holiday was school breakfast day, and they called him Dylan, but they like instead of saying like just Dylan, they said let's see what Dylan. Like they enunciated that it was
this is
Dylan.
actually his name.
Yeah.
So should I post both next Monday after spring break?
What?
Should we post both? Because that's never been posted.
Yeah,
The one
it is.
for
It's
this
posted.
week?
Yeah.
Oh, did Cade put it up
Yeah,
there?
we watched
I
it.
didn't even know.
We watched it in physics because it's always Mr. Mac. We had a broadcast for today because he likes watching them too. He thinks they're funny.
They're good. Now, if you really want to cringe, watch that first one.
Oh my gosh, I
Oh,
can't.
my
The
goodness.
first one is so bad because I think we're on like our 23rd, 22nd one right now.
Yeah, this has been going for a while.
Since I'm trying to think when the first one was. It was middle of September.
Yeah,
it
it
during
was.
football season.
It was.
Yeah.
Was it before or after homecoming?
It was before because I remember we talked about homecoming, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we
then like the
advertised
one
homecoming,
after
right?
Yeah.
after homecoming, we kept saying King Brody
Oh my goodness.
because
You never wear your crown. How come?
I don't think I need to wear the crown.
Do you get to keep the crown?
Yeah, I still have it.
You still see?
I do have it.
You should wear the crown.
I'll wear it. I'll make an appearance on the broadcast with it.
Do
one
it.
time.
That would be so great. That would be so awesome.
Yeah.
Next sportscast. Once we get into track and all that, we can do something with we gotta do something with the crown.
All right.
You've earned the crown. You're royalty.
Oh yeah,
I'm sitting here with royalty.
yeah,
it's crazy.
It's wonderful.
he's also a president for some who don't know.
He is also the class president, right?
What is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the president.
Look at that. You're king and a president.
That's crazy.
See? You got both.
Got both titles.
You got both titles.
Yep.
There's nothing you can't do. It's incredible.
He
is.
runs this school.
You do run this school.
No.
It's everyone's senior year dream. You just run the school. It's perfect.
And he
It
doesn't
is.
like to admit it. He knows it's true, but he's just trying to say
I
no.
know when people say it to me, I'm just like, oh, okay, thanks. You know,
Dude,
okay.
you got 2 months.
That's crazy.
Is this an exciting thing? Is this a
Yeah, it's like getting more exciting as it goes on, but like more sad too.
Mhm.
Like I only have 2 months left.
Yeah, what did I say to you the other day? We only got like 6 broadcasts left or something.
Yeah.
Oh my
actually,
gosh.
If we at the rate we were doing the podcast, it's only like 5 or
Yeah, there's
more
like 5 left or something like that. You only
Yeah.
got 5 more of these.
That's scary.
Well, when you start thinking of things in those terms, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like when you look ahead, everything seems really like, oh my God, we're never going to get out of here. But then you look back,
Yeah.
you're like, holy cow.
I remember you saying something in August, like this year is gonna go by quick, and I feel like that was literally 3 weeks ago. I'm not gonna lie.
it does feel like sitting in his room on the first day, and then we said, "What is this class?" And he said, "I don't know."
And now we're here. Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah, literally.
I
We went in there, didn't like do much.
And
the
we
first day,
watched-
like,
we watched. We went on YouTube and looked up like newscasts for
Yeah,
other
we
schools, and
watched-
we were like, "Okay, we're not doing
We
that."
watched other schools' broadcasts, and that was where we started.
Yeah.
We're like, okay.
Like, what is our
Yeah, that's-
skeleton?
That's not good. Like, we ain't doing
And
that.
we're like
Okay,
that.
that's cool.
What
we
was
can work
that? The Weather Boys or something like that?
Oh,
I
Yeah.
don't know what school that was, but
Ooh, they were
it was a-
cringeworthy.
it was an old video of some school, not even close here. Never heard of it in my life. And I don't know.
They were
s-
somewhere,
Yeah.
Virginia or something. I
Yeah, it
think.
was,
Oh,
yeah.
that was cringeworthy.
it was.
That was rough. It's like, okay, so you want this, no, we want this. Okay, let's go. Let's make it
Definitely
happen.
don't want that. We
Okay.
knew what not to do.
Right. So then
Yeah.
how we make it happen? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Right. And here we are. And that's, again, sometimes that works. Like this podcast works, the broadcast works. And sometimes that doesn't quite work. Like there's some other things that I wanted to try that we didn't quite get to
Mhm.
or didn't get done. And that's okay. You're going to crash and burn on some stuff. And you're going to have some successes and you just run with the successes. That's life, man.
Yeah.
Just be proud of your failures as much as your successes and own them. So the fact that you are no longer quote unquote afraid to try a podcast,
Yeah.
let's go. Like that's what it's for. That's why we're here to do
Exactly.
this stuff. So now you're going to take everything you've learned, and when you do that first podcast, it's going to look like you've done it before.
10 times better than what it would have if I never took this class and just tried on my own.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
That's what it's for. So with that, with that part of it, when I said, look, guys, I don't know what this is going to look like, I wasn't lying. But at the same time, I meant this can look like whatever you guys want it to look like. Like, let's figure out what we want this to be. We, all of us. You just tell me what you want, and I'll do the, like, logistic legwork stuff and make it happen and get it going. And that's how it's supposed to work. It's like a partnership. This class is more of a partnership than it is a class.
Yeah.
I still haven't figured out how I'm going to grade it.
Yeah, like when I come
Like, that's
when I
tough.
come into class, it does not feel like class. Like
No.
it just,
But I'm going to hope that this seems like there are certain days where we're kind of in a lull, where it's like,
Now what?
but when we're doing something, it's like 90 minutes. Like, that's over. Really?
Yeah.
We're done already?
like right now we got what?
we
couple
have
minutes left?
like 5 minutes actually.
They got
Yeah.
5 minutes on this thing?
Ish.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
See, this time flew by.
That's how this works, man. That's how it works. That's what happens when you have a conversation.
Definitely the block schedules are an advantage for this class.
Absolutely.
100%.
I hope we do not get rid of those.
We're
ever.
not. As of next year, we're not.
Yeah. Well, that's all that matters for me.
You're right.
Yeah.
So that's why I said next year, because
Yeah.
after that you're out. So think of all the cool stuff that you would like for next year. Let me know, and we'll figure it out. And talk with your friends. Talk with your buddies. What do
I
they?
gotta
what do
make
you guys
next
want?
year the best year because it's the last year.
Best year, seniors. Yeah, like Karate Kid and Johnny. You guys watch
Yeah.
Karate Kid?
Yeah.
As of 8 a.m. next year, I'm a senior. I'll make it all work. Right? That's exactly how it is.
Yep.
So, all right. So you got a couple of months left. You had a good time.
100%.
All right. Well, that's what it's about. You're supposed to be ready to leave.
Yeah.
Good. Because that means we did our job. You don't need us anymore. Like, the highest compliment you can pay your teachers is to walk down the hall as a senior and go, God, I can't wait to get out of here. And then we just stand there and go, good, we've done our job. Because we want you to go away. Go do
Yeah.
we do. Just
Yeah.
go do your
After 6 years here, then
thing.
it's
6
just
years
gone.
is it? We like you, but
You
Not
need to
so
leave.
much.
Yeah.
you can come back as guest appearance on the podcast. That's
Yeah.
fine. But make sure that you're a visitor.
It's
Yeah.
crazy
Not
to
another seat.
think, like, back to my 7th grade year, like, doing, for me, I think about, like, the play
Mm-hmm.
and how much that, it just, like, I remember thinking, like, oh, my gosh, like, I have so much left, you know, like, my senior year is a long time
Yeah,
away.
I'll
But
never
now,
be.
but now you have 2 months left, but I only have 2 months until then it's me.
Then you're a senior.
Yeah.
And then everything you do will be the last time you do it.
Yeah. That's what I feel like after this first half of the school year is over, like, I've talked about this with Jordan, like, we only have one more homecoming.
Correct.
Only one more football season. That's just crazy to
Yeah,
me.
and seniors invariably talk about it with like practices and stuff. Is you can't wait for practice to be over. Football practice, you can't wait for Tuesday practice to be over.
Yeah.
Until you don't get to do it anymore.
And then you're like,
And you're like, you know what? I'd go do that again
Yeah.
if I could do it
Yeah.
again. Right. And that never changes. Like the name of what you're kind of like, what you're into might change. If it's not football, it's something else. But just always understand that this is precious stuff that you're doing, and enjoy while you're here. Yeah, you got to plan ahead, and yeah, it's fun to look back, but always enjoy the moment because
Yeah.
that's what it's about.
Or I've often thought about, like, I only have one more first day of school,
Yes.
and then it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do with
it's
my
a
life.
weird feeling, but
Yeah.
it's
That
alright.
it's always going to be like that. Like you're always going to be moving on to something else,
Mm-hmm.
except if you decide to get married. That's right. But you're always going to be transitioning into something else, and something's going to go away, and something's going to morph, and that's just how it works. So just enjoy what you're doing, and then when something new comes along, embrace that.
It's even harder when you have younger siblings. I'm sure Brody can relate. Because, like, this year, for me, it wasn't really a significant year, like junior year, but it was, like, Hayden's first year in the same building as me, and then Carly's a freshman. And then, like, next year, it's Hayden's last year of junior high, and then,
Yes.
like, we'll never be in high school at the same time, which is, like, a little bit sad. But, like, that means when he's in high school, which seems not that long away, I'll already be gone.
Correct.
So, like,
By the time he graduates from high school, you're going to be either close to or have graduated college.
yeah. And Trey and Lorenzo always say that we make them feel old because they graduated in 2014 and
Yeah.
15. So, and, like, they're friends, too. Like, whenever, like, Lorenzo and Gabe Hartman will come over on Wednesdays, and then I'll, like, talk about the things I'm doing in school, about, like, FFA or, I don't know, just, like, things. And Gabe is like, Jesus, I'm old.
Yes. Yeah, it'll make them feel old
Yeah.
because that's just how it works. And they're going to move on to do other stuff. So enjoy it. You got the rest of this year, enjoy it. Like you got prom coming up.
Yep.
Like have a good time with it. You're supposed
Yeah.
to. Like that, just enjoy it.
By the way, me and Garrett are going to look the best at prom.
No, me
Just
and
so
Maddie.
Done.
Nope.
No.
Oh, competition.
No.
All right.
Me and Maddie look the best at homecoming. My cheetah print.
Well, just
shirt.
you wait. Just you wait till Garrett's
All right. So
outfit.
before we run out of time, clearly we're going to have to do something on social media judging. We got to have a vote.
Yeah,
We're
we
going to have
have
to do
to.
something. All right. That's our next assignment in our class. We got it.
Perfect.
We're on it.
Alrighty. Thanks for tuning in this week's podcast. Have a great day.